Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth from Organized Chaos, and in this video I'm going to be showing you a few tips for using editable files that are in PowerPoint format but are created for printing rather than showing on a slideshow. So these kinds of files are pretty common on Teachers Pay Teachers. And the reason that we have editable files in PowerPoint is because they're so easy to customize and get them exactly the way you want them before you print them out. I'm going to be using one of my files from my store as an example today, and that is the Entire Life planner bundle in the dated 5 lessons lesson planning format. You can find this file and all of my other planners in my Teachers Pay Teachers store called Music All Around Us on teacherspayteachers.com. And so let's go ahead and get started. If you open the planner bundle, and a lot of other products that you download are going to be similar to this, you're going to find several different versions of the same thing. So there are a lot of files here, but it's actually not nearly as many as it may first appear. That's because I have a PowerPoint version and a PDF version of each of the components of the planner. So if you look at the file and you know that you don't need to make any changes whatsoever before you print, then you can just use the PDF version, and it's very simple to use that file. But if you want to customize and edit things before you print, then you're going to want to use the PowerPoint version, and that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. So when you open a file like this and you have a lot of different files within that folder, one easy way to find what you need is to sort by the type of file. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on the word type. And now you'll see that all of the PDF versions are at the top and all of the PowerPoint versions are at the bottom. So if you are just going to print and go, you've got all of those files together here, and if you're going to be editing and customizing, you have all those files together here. So let's go ahead and get started with the PowerPoint version. So I'm going to be opening up the main teacher planner. This is the dated lessons with 5 lesson blocks each day. So this is the PowerPoint version here, and let's talk first about how to edit the different pages. So for example, in this file there are 4 different versions of covers that you can use for the planner. So you obviously don't need all of them, you just are going to want to pick one. So let's say I want to use this first one, then I need to get rid of these other 3 covers. So when you want to delete a page, you're going to select it, and you'll see that it's selected when there's a box around that page. And then you're going to right click, which on a Mac I believe is Control click, and then you're going to scroll down to delete slide, click on that, and now it's gone. If you want to delete more than one page at a time, you can select the first page you want to get rid of and then go down to the last page, hold down the Shift key and click, and now all of those pages will be selected. Then you just do the same thing, right click, delete. So that's how you delete pages. I can do the same thing down here with my different spine labels. I'll keep the one that matches my cover and delete the other one. Now let's talk about adding pages. So the first thing you may want to do is duplicate some of the pages that are in the file if you need more copies of a particular page. So for example, in the gradebook, you've got a bunch of slots here, and then you've got another facing sheet, but you may need to double those pages because you have more students than will fit on one sheet. Then you're going to want to select all the pages that you want to copy. So I'm going to select both of those. Right click again, and then right above where it said delete slide is an option that says duplicate slide. If you click on that, it will make a copy of those right underneath where you just had your originals. So if you select just one, it will make a copy of one. And if you select more than one, it will copy all of those and keep them in the same order and formatting that you had before. So that's removing pages and adding pages when you're copying them. But what if you want to add pages in from another file? That is also very easy to do. I'm going to come back over here to my music teacher organizer, which is a part of that same bundle. And let's say I want to add in the National Core Arts Standards pages after my gradebook. I like to have everything in one planner and just print it all as one file. So I'm going to click on all of the pages that I want, and I used Shift click to select the multiple pages at a time like I showed you before. Now I'm just going to click on any of those and drag, and you're going to see the number right there showing you how many pages you have selected. Come back over to your previous window, and you're going to see that line right there. That's where your pages will go. So if I want to put it after my gradebook, then I need to scroll down. And if you're needing to scroll down past where the pages are, you just hold your mouse down at the bottom of that page sidebar, and it'll scroll down, and you can just wait until you get it where you want it. So I'm going past all of the weekly lesson planning pages till I get to my grade book, and then I'm going to look for the end of the grade book. Now I move my mouse up. There's the end of the grade book, so I want those pages right there. And now I've added pages from this file over to this first file. So let's get rid of that one. Let me show you one more time how it works if you were just using one page. So let's open my home organization binder. And let's say I want to add a meal planning sheet. So I'm just selecting one page right now from this document. And again, I'm just going to drag it over. And then I'm going to scroll down to wherever you want it, and there's the line, and I'll add it right there to the end of the file. So now we've talked about copying pages, adding pages, and removing pages. The last thing I want to show you with pages is moving them around to change the order. So let's say that I want to move the 2 year pages, the calendars, to go after these pages that I have for copying in your class schedule. So I'm going to select the 2 pages I want to move, and then I'm going to click and drag again, and then again you see that number because I have 2 pages selected, and the other pages are going to kind of move out of the way and leave a space for where the new pages would go. So I'm going to put them after those 2 pages, and now they've been moved to their new spot. So those are different ways that you can customize the pages themselves. Now let's talk about customizing within a particular page. So a lot of people, for example, like to have a family photo or a monogram or something like that on the cover of their planner. If you are using the PowerPoint version, this is pretty easy to do. As long as you have the picture saved somewhere on your computer, you just need to find that picture. So for this example, I'll use this picture that I have saved to my desktop. But all you're going to do, just like when you were copying pages from another file, is click on the picture, drag it in, and you'll know that you've got the picture on your mouse because you'll see that little square with the plus sign on it. If I let go of the mouse, now my picture has been copied onto the page. And you can do a lot of things with this. You can resize if you drag the corners, you can stretch it if you use the squares that are on the sides, and this little circle at the top will let you tilt it in any direction. You can also, of course, move it around anywhere on the page. And one other thing you can do is actually add shadows and borders and things like that to a picture. If you go right here, so it's under the Picture Tools format, which will automatically come up when you put a picture onto your page. If you go to Picture Effects, there are a lot of different things you can do, including shadows, and it'll give you a ton of different options for which direction the shadow is going. So you just select the one you want, and now my picture has a little shadow. You can also go to Picture Border and give it a border. So let's say you want to make it orange, and then you can also change the thickness of the line. So a nice big orange line that you can see. So now if I click off, I've got a little drop shadow and an orange border around my picture. So that is, again, if you don't see that menu, make sure that you have the picture selected, and then you'll see this Picture Tools format, and there are a lot of options right there for what you can do with your picture. So that's how to add a picture file. Now let's say you want to add some text, which is a common thing that people want to do to customize printables. So let's say I have a long-range planning sheet for each of my general music classes, but I also teach a band class. Then I might want to add a long-range planning sheet for that, and I want to title it at the top so that it will match all of my other pages. In my planners, as well as most files that you find on Teachers Pay Teachers that are editable, you're going to find a link and a tutorial for downloading any of the fonts that are used for free so that you can use them to match everything else that's already in the file. So what I need to do is go to Insert, Text Box. I'm going to click on that picture, and then you're going to see an arrow, so I'm going to click and drag and draw a little square for where my text should go, and now you're going to see that cursor right there. So I can change the size of the font. So I'm going to make it bigger, and then you can change the font right here. So again, that link for this font is in my file if you are using this particular one. Select your font and then center it. This is pretty much like any other program you might use to type. And then I'm going to just type in band. And then I have a matching title right here. So if you see the cursor changing, when you see those 4 arrows coming out from the mouse like that, that will let you select an item, and then you can also move it around anywhere you want. The nice thing about these is that because you can type onto the page on your computer, you can use these files as digital files. So for example, with this planner, you could use it as a digital planner and never even print it out. Just simply type your lesson plans on the computer and save it to your desktop that way. One more thing you can add, so we've added pictures and we've added text. One more thing that you might want to add is lines. And the reason you might want to do that is to change the formatting of things on the page. So if it was a worksheet, you may want to add lines to help younger students know where to write. Or in the case of this planner, you may want to change some of the size of some of these boxes. So in this particular format, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planning blocks for each day. And there are other formats in my store, but you may want to customize that further because, for example, maybe on Mondays and Tuesdays you teach 5 classes, but on Wednesdays every week you teach 6. So what you can do is go to Insert, shapes, which of course you could use to draw a square somewhere if you needed to do that, or a heart, or whatever else you want. But if you go under lines, you can select this one which has no arrowheads on it. And now you can draw a line anywhere on the page. So for example, if I want to have 6 lesson blocks on Wednesday, one thing I could do is split this block in half. And I do this sometimes if I teach 2 of the same grade level in a day. I don't need to write as much because some of it is going to be duplicated, but I can also show that those are 2 different lessons. And now you can, just like with the picture that we put on the page, now there are a lot of things you can do to edit the line that you put on the page. So that menu is going to come up, Drawing Tools, Format, and you're going to see similar things as when you had the picture. So Shape Outline, you can change the color, and you can change the thickness of the line. I'll keep it like that. And you can add shadows and things like that as well, although usually for this kind of thing you're not going to want to do that. So now I have a split box right here. If you wanted to add this formatting to every page, you could get your page set up exactly the way you want it, and then you could select everything. And again, if you want to select more than one thing, you can use Shift click or Control click to select more than one item and get everything, and then you can copy it either by pushing on Windows Control C, on Mac that's Command C, or you can always, if you right click in Windows, you can select Copy. That'll copy that line and anything else you might have on the page. And then you can go to any other page in the file, and you can either push Control V, or if you right click, you can paste, and it will add it to the exact same location on the other page as well. So we've talked about adding pictures like these. We have added text like we did on our band page, and we've talked about adding lines as well, and any other shape that you may want to add to your page. And at the beginning I showed you how to delete pages, add pages, and copy pages, and also move pages around so that you can get your file to look exactly the way you want before you print it. When you have got your file set up the way you think you want it, there are 2 things that you should check. First of all, you're going to want to make sure that you have it saved. You may want to save it as a new file so that you can keep the original file the way it was. If you want to do that, just make sure that you choose Save As and name it, give it a different name and save it that way. The other thing you're going to want to check before you print it is, especially if you are printing double-sided, which most people are going to want to do, I always print my planners double-sided, is to make sure that the pages are going to end up, if you have especially pages that you really want to be able to see at the same time. Like I want to be able to see 1 week together on the left and right facing pages. The even numbered pages are the ones that are going to be on the left side, and the odd numbered pages are going to be on the right side. So you're going to be able to see these 2 pages together when you have your planner open. So if you are printing something double-sided, just make sure that you check that to make sure that you, when you were moving pages around, that you didn't change some of that page order and mess up your facing pages. So double check that before you print. If you have any other questions or you need some help with something, please contact me. You can go to my blog, caldwellorganizedchaos.blogspot.com, or you can contact me in my question and answer section in my store on teacherspayteachers.com at Music All Around Us. Thanks. I hope this helps. Bye.